Is fluoride making you stupid? That's what Bobby Kennedy Jr. says, and he's putting together a task force to work on recommending the government to stop putting it in the water. Let's bring in former director for the CDC, Dr. Robert Redfield, friend of mine and show. Doc, good to see you.
Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So fluoride in the water, good thing, bad thing, time to rethink?
I think, Chris, it is a time to rethink, but I think it's important with that emphasis on rethink. Let's look at the science. Let's do it in a transparent way. Let's determine. There is some data that a number of people have looked at that attention deficit disorder, developmental issues in children can be negatively impacted. But let's look at the data, put it out in public. Let's debate it.
Have you looked at it? What do you think?
I think there's data for developmental problems, Chris, okay? It's interesting that in the old days, when we didn't have fluoride in toothpaste, fluoride was really important in changing cavities in teeth. I know I had half my mouth as a cavity when I was a child. I was constantly in the dentist office having my teeth being filled with cavities. So clearly fluoride did a lot for dentistry. But I would say, you know, once we started putting fluoride in toothpaste, there are lots of places in our country where we probably get adequate fluoride without having fluoride in water. But again, I'm not going to come out and say, hey, it should be eliminated. I say, hey, let's look at the data. Let's have CDC, NIH, EPA put the data out in a transparent way. Let's debate it. And let's see whether we really still need this today. It's interesting that most bottled water doesn't have any fluoride, right? And so you can look at whether we really need it or not, and let's just debate it.
Do you think Bobby is going about it the right way, and what caveats would you offer him?
Well, you know, my own view is, you know, he's on to something really important, which is making America healthy again. Obviously, obesity, highly processed food. I couldn't believe when I heard we spend $10 billion on sodas for kids in school. This is where I'd like to see him focus, you know, and but he's obviously got this interest in fluoride. I think you know, I'm more interested in going after chronic disease, diabetes, hypertension. You know, sometimes you get there and you want to do everything at once, and when you do everything at once, you end up not finishing anything. So I'm more an advocate to stay on the obesity, the highly processed foods, and let's let this fluoride evolve, but he's chosen it to go after it. So let's bring in NIH, CDC, EPA. Let's have an open, honest scientific discussion, see where the data is. My own instincts are that we really don't need it to be compulsory in our drinking water, and that many jurisdictions will begin to take it out, and I don't think we'll be any worse the wear. And it'd be interesting to see in Utah, where the event was today, you know, there's 27 jurisdictions within Utah that don't have fluoride, and there's 2 that do have fluoride. Let's look to see is there any difference in the development of the children that grew up in the things that had fluoride versus not. Let science give us some data here. Kennedy has said, and I do believe him, you know, I'm an advocate for him. I do believe that he wants science to drive the issue. So let's use science to drive the issue.
We'll see. I'm glad you think he's doing it the right way. Let's see what it yields. Bob Redfield, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Yeah, God bless you, Chris. God bless.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.